In a world of dungeons, dragons, and devious DMs, 4 adventurers set out to save the mysterious land of Blaelflow.
I'm Frank Bunty, Dwarven Paladin and all-round badass. I like nothing more than righting wrongs and smiting evil.
I'm Bonarail, a half-elf rogue that'll rob you blind and mess you up.
I'm Lord Sugar, a human wizard noble. I'm rich, I'm better than everyone, and I set fire to everything.
I'm Draco Justice, Dragonborn Monk. For when justice calls, who will answer? I will. I'm Draco Justice.
And I'm Doddy, the resident DM. I'll be throwing everything at these guys, including the kitchen sink. Ooh, a mimic kitchen sink.
Nerd OD&D from the Nod Network. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and wherever else you get podcasts.
Last week, I was literally changing Oliver.
What, you're just not happy with him? You're taking him back and changing him for a better model?
Just trying to get a refund, but that was non-existent.
Exchange only at this point. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Nerd OD podcast. It's episode 43, 42. I've lost track.
I said we never intro with a
we don't.
With here's an episode number.
I'm kind of excited that we're nearly at 50. We're nearly a year of relaunching, rebooting this thing.
I know, it just makes me chuckle the fact that you were like, I'm going to go over an episode number, but I don't know what the episode number is.
I know. I always have to check before I post them. Like, is it that? No, look, we're at 42. But yeah, we're nearly at 50, which means we've nearly had a year of not completely a year of lockdown, but a year of the old corona.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's madness, absolute madness. But yes, I have obviously 50's quite a big anniversary, isn't it? So I think we're going to go old school, Reg. I think we're going to go. Like the big episodes, 50, 100, 150 of the Nerd, the G.E.K podcast. We always did a little game show, didn't we?
We did.
So I think I'm gonna bring that in. I think that's a fun little thing to do.
Can we bring Nina Myers in to do one of her name the film things?
I will try. I will see if she's not too busy, but I suppose no one is at the moment, are they? So I'm sure it's fine. That sounds good. Anyway, I'm Dan.
And I'm Reg.
Sorry, I just started waffling, didn't I?
It's all right. So I'm also going to apologise in advance because even though it's only just an hour, there's a very high possibility that I'm going to be spacing in and out of this podcast. So last week, I was literally changing Oliver and I went to sort of like
what, you're just not happy with him? You're taking him back and changing him for a better model?
Just trying to get a refund, but that was non-existent.
Exchange only at this point.
Yeah, but I didn't have the capability to exchange it for another one. I just wanted money back and no more kids, but that didn't happen. So I thought I'll have to change his nappy instead now, since he's staying with us. So I literally went to do it, and then as soon as I was on my hands and knees to put him on the mat, my back, just like the bottom of the base of my spine, felt like I had like a knife just go into it, but the knife had like a cattle prod attached to it, so I had like stab pain and then a shock pain, and then it locked into place, and I was there for like a good 20-30 minutes just going like babe, and like in proper tears because I just couldn't move. I was just locked in place. And it was like proper scary, but it's been really, really painful since then. Like phone the doctors and stuff, and it's something to do with the damage in the posterior longitudinal spinal ligament.
Oh, I was going to say that. Yeah, it sounds like that. So,
yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just mainly through all the years of being like hit by cars and falling off bikes. That's finally like weakened the spine that much that the smallest little thing, like changing a nappy, can just go and kill me. But
yeah, there was a time when you one in particular where you got run over and flipped upside down over the top of a car, landed on the pavement, and got up and kind of walked away. But you were still in pain, but you were very drunk at the time. But when you sobered up, it hurt. But the next day we had a gig to go to, so you were quite insistent that you would get to go to the gig. So we went to it. Yeah. And you got drinks bought for you because of your manliness, if I remember right.
Yeah, because the gig was either upstairs or downstairs, wasn't
Upstairs,
it?
and
It was
toilets were
upstairs, wasn't it?
downstairs.
That was it.
On the third floor. No, wait, the
Yeah.
second floor, and the toilets were in the basement.
Yeah.
So yes, you had to walk down about 3 stories.
It took me like a good 10-15 minutes to walk upstairs. I was just oh god, I can't move my leg enough to get up there. But it was Liam Frost and we hadn't seen him before.
No, yeah, it's true.
So, apart from like the 80 odd times we've seen him previously to that. But yeah, so I'm currently on like very strong tramadol.
Okay.
Like the strongest strength of that you can get. And then like a really, really strong like cocodamol or something.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm proper like trippy. So if I start having random conversations halfway through this and interrupting you, I apologise in advance, but it could make quite an entertaining podcast.
It's better than usual.
It's been giving me some really strange dreams. Like I had one where it was pitch black in our room, and we had Oliver in our bed, like we did normally. So this wasn't like in the dream. We had Oliver in bed with us for like a half hour because he wouldn't chill. But then I must have fell asleep. And then I was saying to Oliver next to me, going like, "Oh, look at the shadows," and pointing to like the light at the ceiling, even though it was pitch black. And I was like, "Look, there's a butterfly. You can see the outline of a butterfly. You can see the outline of a bee, and there's a dragon." And then the next thing, there's this like really creepy old woman's voice going, "Look behind you." And I was like, "What the hell?" I looked behind me. There's a creepy old woman that scared the shit out of me. And then I went straight into another dream. Like without waking up, I go, I just went straight into another one, which was, like the ink test.
The Rorschach test.
The Rorschach test.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like loads of them just literally flying into my face. And I was just going like, okay, guns, islands, and like saying like all these random stuff. And then I just randomly woke up and I was like, I wonder what that means. That's very, very peculiar. So it's been interesting. And then I think Ash felt sorry for me, but also secretly thinking she really wanted one. So we went out and bought a hamster.
I mean, that's the natural progression from.
It's so funny because we've been saying for ages, like, we should get Oliver a pet, and we didn't know what we were going to get. Obviously, we tried tropical fish before, as we talked about on the pod.
Yes.
And I sort of accidentally boiled them alive. So we're like, maybe fish is a bad idea to begin with. Like, Oliver would adore, and I think Ash would as well, a dog. Like, they would absolutely love to have a dog. But I'm still terrified of dogs. So I'm doing my best I can do to be like, let's go for something else. Oh, look at this. And then we're like, oh, maybe house rabbits. We could get like a house rabbit. And then I can't even remember how it just happened. It just happened like literally in conversation one day last week when we're like, maybe a hamster. We're like, yeah. And then Ash's mum was like, do you want us to have Oliver overnight while your back's not good and stuff? And I was like, if you wouldn't mind, that would be like amazing. Just so we can both get some rest, because Ash, bless her, has been doing absolutely everything in the house. And I felt quite bad, so I was like, oh yeah, that'd be a lovely idea. So while they had Oliver, we were like, should we just go and have a look at like Pets at Home and just price some stuff up for like next payday? When we get paid, we can actually afford to go out and buy a hamster and stuff. And she was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So we went Pets at Home, and then we found a hamster, and we're like, that's a really cute hamster. Oh, the other one's a really cute hamster as well. Oh, look, that cage isn't a bad price. Oh shit, we just bought a hamster. But it was funny because they were like, right, the hamster's going to be at the front of the till, waiting for you, like in this little box. Yeah. Like, yeah, so just carry on shopping and do what you want to do. And we bought like a shed ton of stuff, like a load of stuff for the hamster. And they charged us for everything, give us a 10% discount on like the purchases and stuff we made, and then forgot to charge us for the hamster. So we got a free hamster.
Amazing. Wow. That means you can go and get another one.
No. Okay, apparently Syrians, even though when they start off together, when they hit adults, they have to live separately. They can't live together. Apparently they see each other as threats and try and kill and eat each other.
Yeah, I've heard that about Syrians.
So, and
wait, we still talking about pets?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So my that was my weekend of feeling completely tripped out, balls to the wall, and then buying hamsters. Oh, but I did finally get around to watching Birds of Prey.
All right, I haven't had a chance yet, actually. So
you know what?
Go on.
It's enjoyable.
Right.
It's just one of those. Don't think too much about any. Like, you don't have to think at all. It's literally just an action flick.
Yeah.
But in like a fun way. It's quite funny, to be fair. Yeah, like Margot Robbie plays a fucking brilliant Harley Quinn. Like, she's probably the best part of like Suicide Squad, and she's great in this. To be fair as well, like, I was quite shocked by how poor Mary Elizabeth Winstead was.
Oh, okay.
She didn't play a great huntress.
No.
To be fair, no. And Black Canary was good. I think she was like Justice Smollett or something. Her name is something Smollett. But she played a really good part as Black Canary. I thought she was pretty cool. And Ewan McGregor plays a fucking really good badass.
Oh yeah, he's the villain, isn't he?
Yeah, he plays Black Mask.
Right.
But he plays the psycho part really, really well. And I was like, I wonder how dark they go, because apparently he's quite a dark villain in the comics and stuff. So I was like, I wonder how dark they do go. And like the very first scene you see with him, he's getting Victor Zaz, to basically cut off a dude's face. And these three guys hanging upside down, he cuts off the first dude's face, and then like, what do we do to the second one? And you can just see Zaz just holding the dude's face, and I'm like, wow, they go dark.
Oh, I didn't know they had Victor Zaz in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty cool as well, to be fair. He's no Tim Booth, but he is pretty cool, to be fair. So, but yeah, we watched that, and we watched we watched another film as well, and I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, that was it. It was Jamie Foxx. It was Project Power.
Okay.
We watched.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That was a really good superhero without being superhero film.
All right. Okay.
Because it's all about the drug, and the drug gives you a certain random power. You don't know what it's going to be until you take it.
Right.
So you could be bulletproof. You could like just self-combust. There's like loads of different things that you could be and turn out to have. But that was a pretty decent Netflix original film to watch, to be fair. Yeah. And I believe they're looking at turning it into a series, aren't they? And I think that would be pretty cool if they do that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more they can do with it. So that'd be an interesting thing to watch. Although not as interesting as WandaVision has been.
Okay, right, good. So you have watched it.
Yes, I watched it the early hours of the morning.
Have you ever seen a show that just consistently gets better and better? I mean, I know from your perspective, and I think generally it didn't start amazingly. It started interestingly, let's say. Yeah. But it's just, because week after week, I'm just like, this is amazing. It's just incredible. Yes, very, very exciting. I mean, we're going to have like pretty much 9 weeks worth of episodes where if you're not watching WandaVision, you're going to be very annoyed with us. We've already had 2 of those weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't even know where to start, to be quite honest. The key thing is, did you have it spoiled for you?
No.
Okay, neither did I. And I didn't realize that it had been spoiled for quite a lot of people, apparently. So what I'm talking about here is at the end of the episode, this last episode of WandaVision, she's having an argument with Vision, and then suddenly there's a knock at the door, or a doorbell goes, she opens the door, and it's clearly, I think everyone's like, it's gonna be a brother, it's gonna be Pietro, and then it doesn't show him, but shows her face, her reaction, and like, yeah, it's definitely him. Then shows the back of his head, and then you're like, oh yeah, look, you can see from the hair color, it's definitely him. And then you start to realize something's not right about this. That doesn't look like him. And then the camera pans around, and it's Quicksilver, as you'd expect, but it's Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men films, and my tiny mind just blew at that moment.
See, that's the thing. So this is I don't know if it's just a nice little like, hey, here's a mini Easter egg that we use in the one from the Fox's universe, or if this is the introduction of, look, here comes the X-Men.
Yeah, there is no way. Every single thing that Marvel do in any of the films or the TV shows is for a reason. They don't just go.
It's just like you're introducing some of the biggest characters in the Marvel universe via a TV show. Surely that should be. I know, like, obviously it's huge and it's fantastic and it is great, but you thought a movie would have been the best way to do it. Like,
but that's
Strange,
what Doctor Strange exactly. That this is the prequel to Doctor Strange from everything that we're hearing. That Scarlet Witch is going to be in Doctor Strange, and it's all about the multiverse that has opened up. Which I think some people seem to be saying that it's her that's opening up this multiverse. So it all depends on how this goes and whether it's her that's running the show, whether she's the one who's completely responsible for the hex and the town being taken over and whatnot, or whether someone else is. And I think it's someone else. I think she's being controlled. There's too many things, or at least being coerced in some way, because there's too many things that just aren't quite getting answers yet. Like certain characters, they're like, who is this and how do they know what's going on? What's it? Agatha, by far, is and her husband that you never see, but she always talks about. They've definitely got something to do with it. So the rumor was at first, like ages ago when Endgame came out, that the snap or the two snaps at the very least, in fact the three snaps, that is what sort of tore a hole in the multiverse. And if you think about it, what was the first time that we saw a character from another set of movies, of Marvel movies, in one of the MCU movies? It's happened before.
Is it Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy? No,
because that is the first proper time we've, I don't know, well, apart from the old movie. No, that was a new version of the character. I mean, think about Spider-Man Far From Home when J. Jonah Jameson turns up.
Oh, yes, of course.
And everyone's just like, oh, wow, I can't believe that's such a great idea that he's so perfect for it that they've cast him in the same role. But what if that's not it? Maybe that is the first sign of this multiverse crossing over.
I think you're right on that one.
Yeah. And in terms of Quicksilver turning up, I think the reason that he's turned up could be explained by the fact that they're in the 80s now, late 70s, right? Late 70s.
Yeah, I'd say late 70s, early 80s.
So the Quicksilver from the Marvel, the MCU, wasn't alive then, but the Quicksilver from the X-Men films was. So whoever is pulling the strings, whoever is doing all this, needed to get her brother pulled. I think it's clearly gone, right, things are getting out of hand, let's get her brother involved, whether it's Wanda or whether it's... in fact, the fact that it's not actually her brother, I think that shows that it's not Wanda. So let's say whoever it is pulling the strings has gone, all right, okay, her brother is this person, and from wherever in the multiverse has pulled the version that fits into that timeline, and it's him because he was from the 70s. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
There is no way that Marvel have just gone, okay, let's cast someone. Oh, we just happened to coincidentally cast this person. There's no way. But anyway, the point was initially, this got spoiled by apparently the stunt double. He tweeted out or posted a photo. I forget exactly what he did, but he did something. Got fired for it because that was supposed to be this huge reveal. He said, "Oh yeah, I think he was his stunt double in all the X-Men films," and he feels like, "Oh great, I'm coming back. I'm going to be playing Quicksilver, but in this new TV show, I'm going to be stunt doubling in this TV show." So yeah, ruined it for a lot of people. And I don't know how I missed that. I did
No,
not. I didn't see it at all, and I'm so glad because I haven't had a mind blowing reveal like that since I don't know, something like 24. You know, when it was just something huge would happen, and you would just be like to the point where immediately when it happened, we'd be on the phone to each other going, Did you just see that?"
Yeah.
Back when you used to have to watch TV live, so you knew that someone else was watching it at the same time. But anyway, yeah, I was just I don't know the possibilities that come with this. I hope they're not doing it. Having this as just like, oh, and then there are X-Men. I think I give them too much credit that they would do that.
This is what I was saying. I wonder if it was just like a nice little nod thing, or I hope this isn't the introduction of the X-Men and the mutants in this MCU version, because that would be quite upsetting, the way that they've set everything up and the way they've worked everything, and then they turn around and be like, boom, this is how we're doing it. I'd be like, we give you a lot of credit and this is how you repay us.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that they're far too everything's always thought through.
It's like years in advance, isn't it? So they should hopefully have something in place. And
exactly.
That's the thing I love is obviously now we genuinely have to wait until next week to find out, or Friday, isn't it, to find out? But I love the fact that no one can be like, oh, I know the answer.
Yep, absolutely.
No, you've got to pace it. This is what I love from our conversation we were having a few weeks back of what do you prefer, week by week or binge it all in one hit. This is the reason I love week by week. Mm-hmm. Because we wouldn't be able to have these sort of conversations if it was just a thing.
Yeah. So, we've also had, I don't know, we might go back to Wandavision in a sec, but we've also had the trailer for a new trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And the date for that, which I forget exactly when it is, but it's first or second week of March, which says to me that they are just going, WandaVision's finished, following Friday, first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier. Which probably means that once that's up, we're going straight into Loki as well, which is, I'm
looking forward to that one. Yeah,
all of them. I don't know whether you've watched the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but again, it doesn't look like just some half-assed TV show. It just looks like
the budget looks full on, doesn't it?
And I love that. And the fact that they're not just treating it as like this, it's a TV show, it's not that important. You can tell that from WandaVision that it's like, no, look, this is very, very important. For all intents and purposes, this is the first part of the new phase. Because if you think about what we've had, or what we should have had as well, Spider-Man Far From Home, I like how that sort of touched on, this is what happened after the snap, after the blip or whatever. But it just, I don't know, it didn't feel that important in the grand scheme of the MCU films. Didn't really point you in a direction of, look, this is where we're going from here for the next phase.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to have Black Widow by now, which again wouldn't have had that. It would have just felt like, here's a little extra film for you, because unless, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I can't see how that is going to have that much impact on whatever the story is going forward.
Well, no, especially because it's set in between Civil War, isn't it? Age of Ultron, Civil War.
Exactly.
And that's
so. Apart from the fact that potentially that I'm hearing maybe her sister is going to take over the mantle, but of Black Widow, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, there's not really been anything that's gone like, right, here we go, that's what we're going for here. It was, if you think about it, really early on that you knew where the movies were heading, from Iron Man, from the end of Iron Man. Yeah. As soon as Nick Fury turns up, it was just like, right, this is what we're heading for, and that's what you're sort of working towards. But we haven't really had it. Whereas this is it. And the fact that they've gone, this is in a TV show. It's the fact it's on Disney's own network. They're like this is, as far as we're concerned, this is as legitimate a way as the cinema is to move these stories forward. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those that I even though I pay for like Netflix and Amazon Prime and stuff, like Netflix, because I've got it as part of my Sky package, I'm not that bothered about having to keep it. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. We barely use it, but we use it for Oliver mainly more than anything.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, we watch a load of shows with that, and now we started buying a load of stuff. So we're like, yeah, that's quite handy. But Disney Plus is the one that if I had to keep one, Disney Plus would be the one I would keep.
Yeah, which is weird because it's the one that's got the least on it.
Yeah, but the stuff it's got, the quality of it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
which is a surprise. And obviously, the 23rd of this month, we're going to get a shed ton load more stuff as well, which is great.
And granted, it's old stuff, but I don't really care.
No, because I haven't had a chance to watch a load of the old stuff.
No,
so for me, it won't be like rewatching it. I'll be watching it for the first time. So I'm genuinely excited about that.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I was going to say, it's just obviously that, like we were saying last week, weren't we, about everyone releasing all their schedules for this year and what's coming out and whatnot. And like, to be fair, MCU and Disney Plus have my back with the amount of shows they've got coming on. And with how skeptical I was with Wandavision at the beginning to how it is now. It's like, I really want to watch. I think tomorrow night I'll probably try and say to Ash, let's watch Infinity War, because I really want to watch WandaVision, because it's just...
yeah, of course. She keeps saying she hasn't seen it.
So,
Did she see... Oh, wait, so she didn't even see Infinity War, so it's not just Endgame?
No, she's not watched Endgame or Infinity War.
Wow.
So...
Fair enough.
The last one she watched was Thor Ragnarok with us. So she watched Black Panther on Disney Plus, and she wasn't a fan.
No. But neither were either of us.
No, but she watched, the last one she properly watched was Thor Ragnarok. So, yeah, she's going to thankfully move into Infinity War, which is one of my all-time favourite films. I fucking love Infinity War.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, Endgame. So then we can finally go like, yay, let's watch this. And then we can watch WandaVision together, and I can finally catch back up on all the little tidbits and stuff I missed.
Yeah.
Like, I love how one of the Easter eggs for this week's one was the paper towels.
Yes.
That comes through, and it's from the location of
towels.
Yeah, from the location
you have to
of
clean
Age
up
of Ultron and stuff.
Yeah.
But that is perfect. Like, I love the little touches like that.
Absolutely.
I'll be able to pick up on a load more stuff then, because I'll actually be concentrating on it to watch Ash's reaction and stuff through bits. So it's really, really good. You know what was disappointing, actually, though, while we're on the subject of stuff?
Okay.
The Super Bowl adverts.
Oh, do you know, I haven't had a look yet. They usually show up on YouTube trending, and I'll sort of watch those ones. But yeah, no, not very good.
No, it was one of the few things I was excited about this morning. So I woke up this morning, sort of normal time. I had a bit of a crap night's sleep with Oliver, so Oliver was stayed in bed till 10:30 this morning. So I was like, right, up early at home, watched WandaVision, and I was like, right, now I can watch the Super Bowl trailers, because I usually love the adverts for the Super Bowl, and they only had one slightly decent one, and that was for... I can't remember what it's called for it's like an American Uber Eats type of service.
Okay.
But it was Wayne's World, so they had Wayne's World, like Garth and Wayne.
Oh, they actually had them.
They actually had those two doing it for Eat Local, and they're like, yeah, we're not sellouts. We don't do all
Is it that bit from Wayne's World when they're standing around and they're talking about how it's really sad about selling out and they won't do it for anyone? Is it just that?
No. It's
okay.
It's a shame, because that would have been nice. But they're doing subliminal messaging and stuff about, obviously, don't sell out, don't go to huge chains, eat local.
Right,
what they're doing and get it sent to us. And it's like, yeah, but we don't do all the really expensive adverts. We don't believe in doing all the fancy special effects and stuff. You don't expect any celebrity cameos from us. Do your Cardi, and then it just points to the side, and Cardi B's like, yeah, eat local, yo. And then they're like, yeah, so, don't expect any trends or, any of those funny TikTok videos. And as soon as they say it, they start doing a challenge, like one of the TikTok challenges where they change clothes and stuff. And it's really funny the way to do it. But it's just weird seeing how old they look. I always thought, what'd be ace, having a new Wayne's World. And watching it, I'm like, what would be ace, leaving Wayne's World alone now. It's nice to see them, but I think that's the capacity in how we should see them. But yeah, it does look. It was pretty funny, but that was literally the only one I'd say that was worthwhile.
All right, okay.
Which is a crying shame. Because, like I said, usually they are really funny. We spend ages chatting about them, but unfortunately, this time around, there's not a lot to discuss about it. While we're on the subject of things it's a shame and not very good. Obviously, Halo Infinite got pushed back.
Well, again, there's something recently.
I was going to say this is moving into. So they pushed that back because obviously they weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
And now, even before this gets released, they're advertising for another game in the Halo universe.
Okay.
So they're basically setting up shop for another title. Initially, they were very coy with what it's going to be, and then they released a job spec saying that people must have worked on a AAA title this generation. So, so it's got to be a brand new game. It's coming straight for it. So it's interesting that they're not even willing to wait to see how well this sells after everything that's happened to it, to then just go straight out and just start working on one straight away. It just seems really bizarre.
Well, they've got to get the money's worth from the studio.
Yeah, I was going to say, otherwise I suppose it could end up like the Stadia studios. You've seen Amazon have shut them down.
Yeah, of Google.
So Google,
yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
So I was looking at Amazon Prime, the hamster wheels.
But that doesn't mean that Stadia is done. It's just their own studio.
Party, but any first party exclusives are now null and void. They said they're still going to support it, but it's now only going to be third party games that are coming through. They're not going to be doing any first party studio games.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't see that as that big a deal. I can't think of a single one that I'd even heard of.
There's a couple of MMOs and really fun titles I think would be great for the Stadia, which is what I was sort of because I was toying with the idea of Stadia. With me not having the console and stuff, and I was like, you know what,
that sort of stuff will still happen. It's just stuff that Google themselves had a studio working on.
Yeah, they were working on that studio, but that's now null and void now. They've canned them all, which is a shame because they had a couple of trailers and stuff out and they looked really cool. So it's just a shame that they're like, yeah, we won't be working on that anymore.
Okay, but does that mean that they're not going to let them even sell it to another publisher or anything like that?
As far as I'm aware, someone put out a tweet saying basically, so our project's dead in the water now. Cheers for that, Google.
Wow.
I was like, all right, okay, fair enough. So that's dead. Yeah, so that's weird. And we were talking, I think this was in real life, wasn't it? About Tomb Raider and how I was saying about there's something in the works. We couldn't figure out what it was because they've updated the cover photo on all the pages, trying to meld together the reboot with the actual original set of games. And the reason being is they're releasing a Netflix anime.
Yeah, I heard that. That was, I think that was announced a while back though, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I only found out about it before.
Oh, okay, I don't think that's that new. I mean, maybe not an official announcement, but I definitely heard that was probably happening.
I see. I wasn't aware of it, but at the same time, I think an anime is quite a bad one for Tomb Raider. They could have easily done a live action series of Tomb Raider. I agree. It's got potential, a live action series, but at the same time, the films, well, the attempt at the reboot of the films didn't really do particularly well. Unsurprisingly, it was just not good. No, I don't know whether you've seen it, right? Yeah, I've seen both of them. It's the
no. I mean the new one. I don't mean the old Angelina Jolie ones.
Oh right, yeah. The sequel's still going ahead.
Oh, is it still happening?
Yeah, they've nearly wrapped production on it.
Wow.
Okay. And to be fair, I really enjoyed the last Tomb Raider film.
It had its moments, but for me there was too many issues. It just seemed like a really by numbers action film. I think it was more that, I mean, I love the rebooted game, and I was really hoping it would have the same sort of feel as that, just in a movie. But it just, I don't know, still felt a little bit cheesy in places.
Having a look at it, so apparently It's no longer got a release date anymore.
Well, what has? Let's face it. That doesn't mean anything, if you ask me.
I think it looks like it's finished filming and stuff, and it's literally just waiting for its release date now to come through. That's
just waiting for COVID to die down a bit.
It'd be interesting to see if it manages to come out before the Uncharted film.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was expected to, again, Superbowl, they usually do a load of films and stuff, don't they? So you had like the Fast and Furious one where they go into space or whatever bullshit it is, and like the new Bruce Willis one and stuff. But I was expected to see maybe like a little hint of a slither of that. Just because the original trailer just didn't really do much to teaser. Just a little thing to make me go, you know what, actually, yeah, this could be a good idea.
What, have we had a trailer for the second Tomb Raider?
Oh, no, sorry, for the Uncharted film.
Oh, for the Uncharted film. Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm still not sold on it all. I need something to sell it to me to be like, yeah, this is worth your time, Reg. This is worth your time. Because right now, it's not being sold to me at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just flicking through YouTube trending just to see what there is from the Super Bowl, and all I'm seeing an Edward Scissorhands ad for Cadillac.
Yeah, so it's his brother or his son or something.
Okay, it's Timothy Chalamet.
It's called June. Like Edmund Scissorhands or something, I think.
Right,
he's called.
Okay, yeah, and an F9, Fast and Furious 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else we got? Oh, Miley Cyrus sang with Billy Idol.
Interesting.
Yeah. That is about it.
Yeah, there's not a lot on, but what I have been sort of getting addicted to on YouTube at the minute is watching speedruns.
Okay.
There's a load of and mainly the Hitman speedruns. So Hitman 3 came out not that long ago. It was only about 3 weeks ago, and someone can already complete the first level in 8 seconds.
Wow!
And that's not even glitching. They literally just rock out, and they played it that much that they know exactly the shot for shot how to do it. And it's incredible. They literally just step out of the lift, and they don't even have time to say, Agent 7, you can now use your weapon. It's like, Agent 40, level complete. Like, wow. It's incredible, but watching how they can do stuff on it is just so much fun. And then I fell into the bad games done quickly. So you know how they always do good games done quickly every year for charity, where they do like a load of awesome games. And people just speed run them, and they do it all for charity. There's a section in it every year which is just where they play like really broken and like horrendous games, and they speed run them for charity. And I've just been watching a load of them, and some of the games are awful, but they're so funny to watch. So like I just fell down like a massive rabbit hole the other night when I couldn't sleep. So my back, I was just like, oh, right, I'll just watch one of these. And then just end up staying up for like about 4 hours just watching loads of random fucking speedruns of crazy, really weird indie titles and really bad games.
I've seen a few of those recently. I saw something about I can't remember what it was called, but some game where you're racing ducks. And I just saw some guy playing that for 25 minutes and be like, yeah, there you go, complete it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I just got hold of a free trial for the Google Play Store Game Pass. So it's like their version of the iOS and Arcade or whatever it is. And I've got KOTOR, the Star Wars Knights of the Republic.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
That's on it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I haven't played that in years, and I remember loving that.
So you're playing this on your phone?
Give that a go. So I'm playing it on my phone.
Okay.
And it plays really well, to be fair, at the minute. So I canny fault that one.
Well, there's rumours of that getting, whether it's a new official proper sequel, or potentially there's a studio that's been working on it for ages to remaster it. I forget the name of the studio, but they said that they're working on a certain project that Star Wars fans are going to go mental for, and apparently they're a studio that are renowned for doing remasters of games. So that is what everyone's assuming. It's one of those games that I feel like if I'd have been playing those sorts of games back then, I would have absolutely loved it, but I never really got stuck into anything like that. None of really the BioWare stuff until Mass Effect came along. And even that, I think Mass Effect 2 had come out by the time I picked up Mass Effect 3 for like a $5. and got stuck into that, and I was like, holy cow, this is amazing. And just quick brief segue, that has finally got a release date, the Mass Effect Legendary. And it is coming out on, May the 14th, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yeah. So have you seen they've done the collector's core?
Yes.
The Mass Effect
We
one.
get the helmet and the wearable helmet that lights up.
Yeah, so that's £200.
Yeah.
You get everything apart from the game.
You don't get the game with it?
You do not get the game.
Oh, is it another one of these where they're just like, here's the special edition stuff if you add it onto your game?
Yep. So
fair enough.
It's just £200 and you don't even get the game. But straight away I was like, yeah, Dave will love that.
You don't even get the game where you haven't got gratuitous shots of Miranda's butt. Have you heard this? This is if you Google for Mass Effect Legendary Edition now, a week ago it was all these like, oh look, this is everything we know about it, all the DLC and everything, and look how amazing it looks. And now all the stories are Mass Effect Legendary has adjusted those gratuitous shots of Miranda's bottom. So apparently there were, I don't remember it, but if I played it again, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, of course. But there were lots of cutscenes where she'd be talking to Shepard or something, and there would just be these shots that were angled so you'd see her backside, basically. So when they were remastering it or whatnot, one of the producers was like, can we change them? We don't need them. So they've repositioned the camera so it's a little bit more sensitive.
Cool. Just while we're talking, going through, and back to Wandavision for a minute.
Okay.
Apparently, Spider-Man Far From Home had a Easter egg for Wandavision.
Okay.
So the post-credit scene with Nick Fury, when he's on the spaceship.
So he's a Skrull. He's in the film, isn't he? So he's okay. He
walks past the hexagonal shape with the sword pattern next to it.
Okay.
On all the control panels. So
yeah. So I've heard that potentially he is on one of the Sword's ships. That is the rumor. To be fair, there's a few things we sort of skirted past because we spent so long talking about Quicksilver appearing, but there's a moment in WandaVision in the last episode where Maria goes, we need a what's he say, a space engineer or something like that, spatial engineer. I know who to get, and she goes on her phone and texts someone. So the internet is going mental over who this could be, and they're all like, it could be Reed Richards, could be just loads of different people. Apparently, the one thing that is potentially it could just be that it's not it could just be an accident, it could just be a bad translation, or it could be that they know. But if you put on some of the foreign subtitles, so in particular the Spanish one, at that point she uses the feminine for that person, so it's suggesting that it's going to be a female, so not Reed Richards. I hope it's not anyone to do with Fantastic Four, because that would be an absolute cop out to reveal anyone from that, considering that's probably going to be the next huge addition to the franchise. And then also there's a moment where someone mentions Captain Marvel, and her face is just immediately just like that person. Like there's something has gone on there. And again, what I'm hoping is that means that there's some connection there, like that the whatever Captain Marvel 2 will be another sort of prequel-ish sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's got to be.
And it will fill in the blanks there, because they can't just kill her mum off and not really explain anything to do with Sword. I think that'll be quite an important film to explain what was going on with Sword. And I'm certain that will be the introduction of Fantastic Four, that they'll be working for Sword. I don't know. That's my thoughts anyway.
Oh, yeah. See, I love it. You could literally just non-stop to have so many theories about this, and that's what I love. I love so much about the whole fact that you can do. There's so many different fan theories out there about what's going on, who's controlling it, who is the main villain, who are you going to introduce, how is it going to proceed. Like they've just done the universe so well that you do want to just know more and more about it. Just I know we've been doing is singing its praises this like an hour near enough, but it is just so fucking well done. Also, speaking of well done, have you watched any of the videos for the press opening of the Super Mario World?
I have, yes, Universal? Absolutely. Everything is exactly that reaction, apart from, and I don't think this is a bad thing, apart from the ride, in that it's very hard to show what the ride is going to look like.
Yeah, so
because you haven't watched it.
Well, we watched all of it up until the bit where they started going on the ride. Okay. And we tried watching it through the glasses, and I was like, yeah, no, this is going to ruin the ride for me. So let's skip the ride bit and carry on watching the rest of it. So to put a bit of context into it, the part looks amazing. And, just seeing actual people walking around and experiencing it, it looks incredible. But the ride, which everyone's so excited about, is it's essentially you're riding around in cars. It's like a lot of other rides that do this, where you're just going around on a track with all the animatronics and stuff about. But the key thing is you have a Mario hat on, which has glasses that come down over your face, and it's augmented reality, so it'll track your movement, your head movement, and track the movement of the car, and it puts all the other cars and the shells and the bananas and special effects in 3 dimensions. It projects them out onto the track. So when you're actually riding it, I have no doubt that works really well. But for someone to do an on-ride video, it's almost impossible, because all they can really do is put their camera behind one of the eyes, at which point you're only getting two dimensions, and it's really shaky and it's not pointing in the right direction. So I've not seen a good version of it. It's hard to tell how good that's going to be. I would say with absolute confidence it's going to be amazing, because it wouldn't have got through to actually being produced if they hadn't tried it out and found that it works amazingly. But when you watch it without any of the 3D stuff, any of the augmented reality stuff, it looks so boring. It looks so slow. Yeah. Mario Kart you're so used to blasting through these levels. Yeah, this is just, you're going on a little car through this very slow scenery, and the scenery's amazing. The animatronics look great. Yeah, but it's not it doesn't look like a next gen, AAA ride or whatever, e-ticket, whatever they call it. So it's hard to know without going on it. But I've seen lots of people going, wow, okay, this does not look like what I expected. No, in a bad way. That's the thing. So I'm going to wait till, like I said, I skipped the video after watching about 15 seconds of it, and was like, no, let's move past the ride bit and just watch everything else about it. And I said to Ash, I was like, I need to, before we go, save about $1,000 just to spend in that park. Because there's just so much stuff that I'd want to buy. Because obviously, it's all the Super Mario stuff looks amazing, but I would want like the replica trophies that you can get from, when you're walking into the queue, and you've got like the fire cup, and you've got like the star cup and all that sort of stuff. The downside is, after me going like, oh yeah, I want all this and that and the other, The actual Mario Kart store was very disappointing. The actual normal Super Mario World merch store was great. There's so much stuff I'd want to buy. But the actual specific Mario Kart shop that they've got next to the ride was really bad. It was like, did you look at it at all?
No, I haven't seen that bit.
They had like loads of different variations of sweets in tins that were like tires, and like key rings. There was no like, the replica trophy, that sort of stuff. Like they didn't have anything that you'd be like, oh, I need that.
Okay.
Like I definitely need that. Unless you want key rings or candy, there's not really a lot going for it. And the shop was massive as well. So it's not like here's.
But then there's an
tiny
actual
thing.
just standalone.
Yeah,
Mario
there's
shop,
an actual
isn't there?
proper standalone Mario.
But have you seen the little Mario sort of puppet that you can get?
Yes.
That looks amazing. It looks absolutely incredible. It's essentially you hold on to a little. It's like a little Scalextric controller that's like poked into a little Mario figure's back, and as you sort of move it forward, he literally walks. You'll see, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
But then you also need like about 30 quid just to get the magic band, the power up band, so you can actually interact with everything.
well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because like the park itself, like you said, you've got the 2 rides there and like the attractions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the activities to do. So if you didn't buy the band, you'd spend about half a day there just having a look around, taking the photos, doing the 2 rides,
Anyway,
and shoot off.
exactly.
But if you got the band, you're there all day, and I couldn't see at any point in spending the money to go there and not buy that band.
Yeah. Well, I'm notoriously like I won't spend money if I don't need to on things like that. But I can't, like, a wristband, as great as it looks, and like, what you're going to do with it afterwards. I might go, oh, okay, 30 quid for that. I can't see the point of it. But you've got to just add it into your ticket price, haven't you? You just got to think, right, I need this to experience this properly.
Yeah, especially when it's, I know obviously you, like, if you're going to go to the one in Japan, then, that's, unlike you, that's not like a yearly event for most people. So, when you go in, you've got to factor it in and be like, yes, okay, right, this is the once in a lifetime. Go to the original. Let's go do this. Like if you go to the Florida one, then granted, there's that many other things to go in the Universal around there, and you've got like literally so much attractions around it that you're like, I won't mind just getting it next time. This time around, we'll just smash everything else. Because you're more likely going there more than you would Japan, probably.
Yeah.
So I would do that. But yeah, if I was going to the Japanese one, but we were watching that, like we were dying to go Disney Sea, because that just looks incredible. And like watching that your video and stuff you put up with it, that looks great. And watching it on Disney Plus when you're watching all the different variations of the parks and stuff that they've got going through, it just looks mind blowing. Like how good it looks.
Yeah, it is. It part of it is just the space they've got, and just for them. I mean, like, I think the most recent park they've opened in Florida was Animal Kingdom, which great, does look awesome, but it's almost an easy park to make look just really good and modern, because it's just like a jungle. Whereas then if you think about Universal Studios and you go to the Harry Potter bit and how just incredibly themed that one little section is, that is the entire park. It's only about, I think it's 15 years old, Disney Sea, 16, something like that now. So when they built it, they just went from, built it from scratch and built it exactly how they wanted it in the huge space they had. So it is just amazing at every single turn. Just so good.
Yeah, so I really, really, really want to go. One day.
Yeah, one day.
Ash has said I can go to Japan and do that at some point. So I will do that at some point.
There you go.
So
Get saving, get fixing your back. Stop spending money frivolously on hamsters and start saving, Reg.
Yeah, I know. Well, now that I've got a hamster, thankfully I don't think I need to buy another one.
Fair enough.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made sure we've gone for like a sort of a commonish sort of colour. So if it does die, we can just be like, "Oh, look, Mikey's still alive."
Fair enough.
And here he is. Like Oliver doesn't need to know. Oh yeah, so we called it Mikey. So obviously, me and Oliver having a bit of an obsession with the turtles, and we thought it was a great idea at the time because he's got so many different Mikey teddies. Like he loves Mikey. I think mainly just because he knows how much I love Mikey. That sort of Mikey's his favourite. But now every time we're like, "Oh, do you want to go see Mikey?" He just like picks up all his turtles and he just like brings them over to the actual hamster to be like, "Look at all my turtles, Mikey. Look at Mikey. This is this Mikey. This is this Mikey. This is this Mikey." He's like, "And now you're Mikey." I'm like, maybe this is not the best idea to call it Mikey. But yeah, it's fun.
No, I'm sure it's fine. You could have, I mean, as long as you don't buy him like nunchucks or katanas or something like that, then that's fine.
The hamster or Oliver?
Oliver, I was getting at really.
Oh, it's a shame. It could have been like the hamster in thingy, Kung Pao. So that's going to Disney Plus. That's turning up on Disney Plus on the 23rd. Kung Pao.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Brilliant. I feel like that is due a watch.
Yeah, it's just so good. I haven't watched it in years. Well, we tried to watch it a few months back, and Ash turned it off about 20 minutes in, going, "I can't watch any more of this shit." And I was like, "Oh, I absolutely love that film."
It's an acquired taste. I get that.
Yeah, it's just got so many good catchphrases and like one-liners in it. I absolutely adore that film. It's such a good film. But that is that, sir. I can't remember what I was going to say then. Sorry, this is what I mean by being spaced out. I completely keep forgetting.
It's fine. That's why I wanted to let you lead this pod. I wanted to see where it would go.
I think I've been pretty much on point.
Yeah, you've not done too bad. Not done too bad, Reg. There's only been a few moments of daydreaming.
Yeah, we were. I can't remember what we were doing before. I was doing something before, and I kept on nodding off. Next to Oliver, and we were supposed to do something. Ash was like, "Are you?" Because I had to walk in the shop. Well, I didn't have to, but I needed milk before, so I was like, "Right, I'll take him, and hopefully he'll fall asleep because he's not. Obviously, you're aware he's not been sleeping great and stuff." So I was like, "Hopefully he'll fall asleep in the pram and whatnot." And then obviously I was falling asleep in the house before we left, and she was like, "Are you sure you're going to be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? Like I might not be, but we'll soon find out." But thankfully I survived, and so did Oliver, so all was well. I was going to say, I will at some point though. I will be buying him the Mikey costume, and he will be having nunchucks. So we did. So for Christmas we were talking about how we bought him the rest of the Toy Story toys.
Oh yeah.
He had for his birthday, he had Buzz and Woody, and he was pointing to the back of the box to be like, like where's Bo Peep? Where's Jessie? So he's got the the NECA figures for the turtles, the ones based on the movie, which are quite pricey.
Yeah.
He's got Mikey and he's got Donatello of them. And I was chatting to my mate Paul, and I was like, I need to find the other two because he loves these figures, like the actual look of the characters on this one.
Yeah.
He loves them in the 2012 Turtles. So I was like, I just need to find, but they're so fucking expensive. I'm not willing to spend like 30 to 70 quid on a figure for Oliver to play with. It just, that's daft sort of money.
Yeah.
And the other two were obviously my figures that he's sort of taken over.
Right.
So I was like, yeah. So he went online and he was like, look, here's one on eBay that's going for like 15 quid or something. And I was like, see if that I'm willing to go with. So I found Raph, and I got him for like 15, 16 quid. And as soon as he turned up, it is the real one. It's perfect. Had to remove the size and like all the other little bits and pieces that come with it, stick it back in the box and put it in a delivery box to give Oliver. And as soon as we did it, he was like, oh my God. He was like, face was so like buzzing that he's got another turtle. He's like, did a little dance, like run around. And then the first thing he did, pull out the box and then point to Leo on the box to be like, huh? It's like, fuck's sake. It's like, no,
he's a completist.
Leonardo yet. It's like, next month, maybe at some point, we'll see if you can get Leonardo, but not yet.
Have you taught him about payday yet? Does he understand the concept of payday?
You know what? I'm not sure. He's getting quite good at when he's like, oh, like not unfortunately we can't yet. And where I think most kids are like, wow, he's like, okay, cool, and he'll go and play with
Bide my
something else that
time.
he's got. So he's like, yeah, maybe next time I'll get you in a better mood. But he's getting good at sort of understanding that now, which is great. But yes. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Need those non-drowsy tablets, Reg.
I know, right? Work was fun today.
I bet.
Just trying to like read CVs just non-stop. I'm like, right, okay, eyes focus. And I was like, this is not working. So, fun times.
Oh dear. Well, you're in luck anyway because we've hit an hour, Reg.
Huzzah!
You made it. And you, dear listener, also made it. Congratulations.
You have passed the test.
Exactly.
Next week we will have a proper podcast. Where we will
but it'll still be like 40 minutes of talking about Wandavision. Because I have no doubt that there's gonna be some more bombshells.
Oh, it can't do anything but reveals from now on and bombshells. Like the fact we haven't even talked about Norm and stuff this week with Vision in the workplace when he was like, help me, and like all that sort of stuff. Like we didn't talk about that sort of stuff. We've got all that to come, which is so much good stuff to come from it. So much good stuff. But that is for next week, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And now my bed is a-calling and the heat packs are en route.
I bet.
So all is good.
Right, well, thank you, dear listener, and thank you, dear Reg.
And thanking you for having me, and thanking you for listening. It's been a pleasure, as always.
See you next time.
Toodles. Bye.